Hello, my name is Julia and this is Fix My Finance. If you have multiple debts that you're currently paying off, or if you find yourself in a debt emergency situation and you will struggle to pay off all your debts this month, this video is for you. We will cover priority versus non-priority debts in the UK and which carry the most serious consequences if you do not pay them. Interestingly, these aren't typically your largest debts or those with the most expensive interest rates. We will then look at non-priority debts, including credit cards and personal loans. Specifically, we will look at how to decide which of these debts you should pay off first, if you find that you're able to make more than the minimum repayments each month. Clearly, we have a lot to cover in this video, so let's fix some finances. If you have multiple debts and you're struggling to pay off all your bills this month, it can be quite overwhelming. In this video, we want to help you understand why it is important to pay off your debts in the right order, as not paying off some debts can be more serious than others. Therefore, the first thing you should do is categorize your debts into priority debts and non-priority debts. If you have already missed multiple payments, or you're in a debt emergency, facing court action, utility disconnection, or even face eviction from your home because you haven't been paying your rent, you should get free independent debt advice urgently. They will be able to advise you what to do next. In the UK, services include the Debt Advice Foundation, Step Change Debt Charity, and the National Deadline. If you haven't yet missed any payments, you should make it a priority to pay priority debts first before paying off non-priority debts, as not paying these can have very serious consequences. We will cover them here in order of priority. Number 1 is electricity. This is most important. This bill needs to be paid on time, as suppliers are allowed to disconnect you tomorrow if you're late on your payments. Second is council tax. If this bill is not paid, it could result in imprisonment. If you happen to miss payments on your council tax, it is important that you don't open the door to the bailiff and make sure that your windows are closed so that they cannot gain peaceful entry. Usually, the bailiff will only come to the property 3 times, and after this, the debt is passed back to the council. Once this happens, you can arrange a repayment plan with the council. Number 3 are rent or mortgage payments. Failure to pay these debts could mean that you end up homeless. If you can't afford to pay your rent or your mortgage, you need to contact your landlord or lender and arrange a repayment plan before they start any proceedings. Number 4, court fines. If you get a court fine, failure to pay this could again result in imprisonment. If you can't pay the fine, contact the court immediately. It is to their discretion as to whether they will consider a reduced payment or extending your payment date. If you don't contact them, a warrant for your arrest could be issued, and this could result in prison. Number 5, the water bill. Although your water cannot be disconnected, this still needs to be paid. If county court action has been threatened, it is likely to happen if the bill isn't paid. You need to contact the water company and arrange a repayment plan. Number 6, your mobile phone bill. If you need your mobile phone because you do not have a landline, then you need to contact your provider to avoid disconnection. This can be very important as you will need to make phone calls to stay on top of your finances. Lastly, if you have any secured loans against your house or own a car on a hire purchase agreement, you should also immediately contact your loan provider to get put on a payment plan. This will be super important not to lose your home or car if you require it to get to work. So, these are all the priority debts, and you should make sure to pay these off first before paying off any non-priority debts. Non-priority debts include credit cards, unsecured personal loans, bank overdrafts, and catalogs. The consequences of not paying these debts are less serious, but if you're struggling to pay them off, you still need to contact your creditor to arrange a repayment plan. This is to avoid debt collectors. So now that we've covered how to prioritize your debt repayments if you're struggling to meet them all, let's move on to the more exciting part of how to choose which debts to pay off first if you find that you're able to afford more than the minimum repayments on all your debts. This could be because you've recently increased your income, or you've simply decided to take control of your finances and you want to clear your debts. If you can afford to repay more than the minimum amount on your credit cards and loans, there are 2 different methods of prioritizing which debt to pay off first: the avalanche and the snowball method. Both methods involve making minimum repayments on all your debts, so as not to incur any additional interest. The avalanche method then uses any additional money you have available to pay off the highest interest debt first. This will save you the most amount of money in the long term. The snowball method aims at focusing on repaying the smallest debt first and then move on to the second smallest and so on. The argument for this is that it helps you build motivation to stick to your debt repayments by giving you small successes along the way when you're able to pay off one smaller debt at a time. To help visualize this idea, let's look at an example. Say we have 3 outstanding debts, as you can see on the screen. We have one £10,000 credit card debt at 18.9%, one £5,000 personal loan at 14.9%, and one £7,000 car loan at 7%. The avalanche method would help you make any additional repayments to the credit card debt first, whilst the snowball method would have you pay off the personal loan first, followed by the car loan. Paying off the highest interest product first will save you the most amount of money and is what I personally recommend. However, if you know that your behavior is more reward focused and you want success feelings earlier on, the snowball method could be beneficial for you. Clearly, this is a decision that will be different for each individual. One caveat here is that for some personal loans, you could incur early repayment fees if you try to increase your monthly payments over the set amount. You should always check if this is the case before deciding on your repayment strategy, as it could be beneficial to simply increase your repayments on your credit cards instead. So, to recap, if you're struggling with debt, you should always pay your priority debts before considering any repayments on non-priority debts. If you're able to pay your minimum payments on all of these, you can then start thinking about which non-priority debts you should pay off first. I hope this video was helpful. If you learned something new today, please give the video a like, share and subscribe for more content. If you have any comments, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section down below. And I will see you here next time when it's time to fix some finances.